There is breaking news out of the Vatican this morning. This morning, October the 2nd, 5 cardinals made public a series of questions, or dubia, which they had submitted to the Pope. Now, the cardinals submitted this dubia to the Pope on August the 21st. Having heard no reply from the Pope, they've now released it to the wider Catholic Church as of this morning. The letter has been signed by 5 cardinals. So it contains, amongst the signatories, Cardinals Burke and Cardinals Brandmüller, names who will be very familiar to readers of LifeSite because these 2 cardinals signed the original 2016 dubia, which was issued in light of Amoris Laetitia. Now, joining Cardinals Brandmüller and Cardinal Burke, we also have Cardinal Robert Sarah, who is a prefect emeritus of the Vatican's congregation or dicastery for the discipline of sacraments, discipline of worship and the sacraments. Also, there is Cardinal Joseph Zen, the emeritus Bishop of Hong Kong, who has been fearless in protesting the Vatican's deal with China, but he's also, perhaps less widely known, been a critic of the Synod on Synodality. Additionally, the 5th signatory is Cardinal Sandoval Íñiguezto, who is the Archbishop Emeritus of Guadalajara. Now, these 5 cardinals have issued their 5 dubia, particularly in light of the Synod on Synodality. The questions that they raise are all issues which are present at the Synod on Synodality, which is set to begin on October the 4th. So they start with a question to the Pope about the immutability of Catholic doctrine. They move on then to the possibility of same-sex blessings. They move on to the question of female ordination. They move on to the concept of teaching of synodal weight, as the Synod and Synodality produces reports and texts, which will then be promulgated by the bishops after the text is approved by the Pope. And they also deal with the issue of repentance as a necessary element for confession. Now, in a rare move, the Pope has actually issued his response to these cardinals. So the cardinals originally sent a letter to the Pope in early July. The Pope then sent a letter back one day later, although it reached the cardinals a few days later still. But that letter was so vague, the cardinals stated, that it prompted them to write a second dubia, which was then sent to the Pope on August 21st. And it's the refusal of the Pope to respond to that dubia which has prompted today's event. Now, the Vatican has issued the Pope's July 11th response to these cardinals. You can read this on LifeSite News. And also Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, or commonly known as Cdl Fernández. He is the new prefect of the congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. He has also issued a response to the cardinals, and he accused them of treating the Pope as if he were a slave to their errands, a slave to responding to their questions. Interestingly, the July 11th response from the Pope bears a lot of hallmarks of Cardinal Fernandez's characteristic style, his theological style of writing, so much so that the Vatican reporter Sandro Magister has alluded to the possibility that it was actually Cardinal Fernandez who wrote the Pope's response, and the Pope merely put his name to it. You can read this breaking news, this huge development out of Rome, all up on lifesitenews.com. I urge you to go there to read through the reports, read through these interventions by these 5 prominent cardinals, and then read the Vatican and Cardinals Fernandez response.